Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
Now at noon, charges may be dropped against a woman shot by a Border Patrol agent.
Former House Speaker Mike Madigan will not be able to practice law in the state. Details on the ruling that has him disbarred next.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Natalie Bobke.
Anthony Ponce, pleased to be with you this noon. Let's take a live look outside right now and see if things are any brighter outside than they were this morning. The answer to that, Caitlin, would be a no.
Looks really good out there. Chicago, no. We are socked in with the cloud cover still as we head into your lunchtime hour. Temperatures not bad. We've been really steady in the 40s, but it is going to be a cloudy and gray rest of our day. These clouds aren't going anywhere. From our Shed Aquarium camera, you can see how hazy it looks outside. 46 degrees is the temperature at the lakefront as well as at O'Hare and Aurora. 47 in Morris, 46 in Kankakee, Northwest Indiana, 43 in Valpo, a little bit cooler there. But our day planner, as mentioned, these temperatures will be only moving a couple degrees up or down over the next 24 hours. We do expect tomorrow to be warmer, 51 degrees as our high for your Friday. Small chance for rain, scattered showers possible, especially south of I-80. And then on Saturday, it's going to be dry and we're back to 50. This weekend will be lovely. If you miss the sunshine, I think we all kind of do. By this weekend, we have mostly sunny skies and the temperatures are still going to be very mild. That's going to continue into the beginning of next week before temperatures start to drop off. In the meantime, through the rest of the day today, you might see some drizzle or mist out there with these clouds in place. We'll take a look at your full 7-day forecast ahead.
All right, thank you, Caitlin. Happening right now, the funeral for former Vice President Dick Cheney at the National Cathedral in Washington. Many prominent political figures are there, including former President Biden, as well as former Vice Presidents Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. There are planned tributes from former President and Cheney's running mate, George W. Bush, along with Cheney's daughter, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, and his grandchildren. Cheney died earlier this month from health complications.
Give rest.
All right, sticker shock from delayed property tax bills in Cook County. They are now fueling calls for property tax reform. Second installment bills finally began hitting mailboxes this week. 4 months late, 4 months after the initial payment due date. In Chicago, South and West Side homeowners, they were the most shocked with their increases. In West Garfield Park, for example, the average increase was more than 130%. In North Lawndale, the average increase was 98%. Former state legislator Ricky Hendon says these increases are unjustified and could result in dozens of homeowners losing their properties. We're going to hear from him on the actions he says must be taken to address these problems ahead on the news at 4. All right, but what will Chicago's downtown look like? That's a question in 20 years.
Mayor Brandon Johnson's administration has cooked up a plan for the central area to keep it growing and is presenting it as we speak. Political reporter Paris Schutz joining us now with the latest. Paris.
First of all, Natalie and Anthony, Ricky Hendon. My God, that's a name from the past. Ricky Hollywood Hendon, as he was known. We'll have to see what he says. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. More housing, more entertainment and nightlife. Better transportation, it's all part of the Central Area Framework Plan that Mayor Johnson's planning department is presenting right now as we speak in City Council. So this plan, it's a roadmap of goals to achieve the city's goals to make sure Central Area, the Loop and beyond, continues to grow. So what do they want? They want zoning for 65,000 new housing units for people of all income levels, more coordination to make sure the city's nightlife stays vibrant, and they want goals to populate these vacant storefronts, buildings, and empty land so they can turn it into development. So this is a kind of plan that is done every 20 or so years following the first one in 2003. It is being considered by an obscure body called the Chicago Plan Commission. So this is one layer that every big development has to go through and get approval when they want to build something. They are considering other developments right now too. So although these specific development changes have to go through City Council as well, there are many steps here. This is like the first one. Mayor says that more than 10,000 members of the public have already weighed in on this massive plan, and he says he wants to keep this an inclusive process.
The Department of Planning and Development needs your help to review and refine the draft recommendations to ensure the plan accurately reflects the goals of Chicagoans. Downtown Chicago belongs to everyone, and everyone should feel at home in the heart of our city, whether they are residents, workers, students, or visitors.
Now, the Plan Commission's vote will take place around 2 p.m. this afternoon. It is expected to pass. Natalie?
Thank you so much, Paris. Right now, the Cook County Board of Commissioners is voting on the 2026 county budget. The $10.1 billion budget does not include new taxes or fees. However, Board President Tony Preckwinkle says sweeping cuts to health care could impact the future of Cook County health. We'll bring you the latest coming up on the news at 4.
All right, some breaking news to get to right now. Former Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan has officially been disbarred. He's in prison. According to court documents, he lost the power to practice law in the state. Madigan was convicted on bribery, conspiracy, and wire fraud charges. The 83-year-old was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison. He was also fined $2.5 million. Madigan, meantime, is appealing the conviction.
Federal prosecutors have filed a motion to dismiss the charges against a woman shot by a Border Patrol agent. Miramar Martinez was shot in the Brighton Park neighborhood last month. Investigators said she and a co-defendant used their cars to block and ram federal agents' vehicles. The DOJ says agents got out and fired several gunshots, injuring Martinez, who was still inside her car at the time. She had pleaded not guilty on charges of using a vehicle to assault, resist, or impede federal agents. Today's dismissal request was filed just hours ahead of a status hearing in the case. The motion did not include an explanation for the dismissal.
U.S. Border Patrol is monitoring millions of drivers. This is according to an AP report that it's part of a program used to identify and detain people with suspicious driving habits. It uses a network of cameras to scan and record license plates and flags drivers based on where they came from, where they're going, and the route they took. The program has resulted in people being stopped and searched and in some cases arrested.
Police are still investigating a crash that left 2 police officers injured. Happened just after midnight in the Gage Park neighborhood. Chicago police say a woman rear-ended the officer's squad car, which caused the officers to lose control and hit a semi. Both officers were hurt. They will recover. The 22-year-old who hit them is seriously hurt and in custody. Her passenger is in critical condition.
We are also learning new details about that man who set a woman on fire along a CTA train on the Blue Line. Roseanne Tejas has the story.
50-year-old Lawrence Reed has one long list of arrests, and that has CTA riders asking why he wasn't already in jail. Since 2017, Reed has been charged with everything from setting a fire at the Thompson Center to criminal damage to property, to possession of a controlled substance, and battery for punching women in the face. Evidence in the CTA incident includes surveillance footage showing Reed buying gasoline shortly before the attack. And prosecutors say CTA video then shows him confronting the victim and pouring gas on her. They say she tried to escape, but he caught up and used a flaming bottle to set her on fire. The 26-year-old victim continues to fight for her life. While this crime was particularly vicious, CTA riders say they feel threatened all the time.
To have to worry about something like that is crazy, and I'm hoping that they keep him in and they do something about it, because of course he's not the only one on the train doing stuff like this. You know, you got others. They may not be setting people on fire, but they are assaulting us women. You know, we got one guy who's walking through the loop punching women, so it's scary, and it's something that I do worry about.
Authorities say Lawrence Reed has reached the end of the line.
Lawrence Reed had no business being on the streets, given his violent criminal history and his pending criminal cases. Reed had plenty of second chances by the criminal justice system, and as a result, you have an innocent victim in the hospital fighting for her life. Because of the swift action of CPD, ATF, and our law enforcement partners, there will be no other chances for Mr. Reed.
Amon says the agency's thoughts and prayers are with the victim and her family. As for Reed, he faces a life prison sentence if he's convicted. At Clark and Lake, Roseanne Tejas, Fox 32, Chicago.
Meantime, the Chicago Police Department is investigating a series of burglaries at businesses in Hyde Park. Now, the latest, an ice cream shop. Police say burglars broke through the front door of Sean Michelle's Homemade Ice Cream, stealing cash out of a register and safes as well. Happened overnight. On Tuesday, 3 suspects broke inside 5 other businesses between East 55th and 56th Streets during a 5-hour-long crime spree. Police have not said if the same burglary crew is suspected in the ice cream shop break-in. However, the owners of this family-owned business say the financial loss may lead them to permanently close their doors.
The newest jobs report is finally out, and despite the delay, the U.S. added a lot more jobs than expected.
It shows American employers added 119,000 jobs, which is more than double what economists initially projected. Rebecca Castor has more now from Washington.
After nearly a 7-week delay due to the government shutdown, the September jobs report brought welcome news. The U.S. added 119,000 jobs, more than double the estimate, but still below 2024's monthly average of 168,000 jobs added. Unemployment ticked up slightly to 4.4%.
This is a solid report for the American people, solid report for job growth.
But the report gives a mixed picture. August numbers were revised down to show the economy actually lost 4,000 jobs.
And I think one of the major takeaways from the government shutdown is it really reinforced the fact that private enterprise is better than the government at pretty much everything, which includes tallying jobs numbers.
While September's report is a positive redirection, a recent Fox News poll shows most Americans aren't happy with the economy. 76% of voters view it negatively, and 62% blame President Trump.
Basically, until the price level actually comes down, consumers aren't going to feel any better in their pocketbooks.
That could be why the president has been highlighting his administration's economic accomplishments in recent speeches.
We're also making incredible strides to make America affordable again. That's a new word that they're using, affordability.
But Democrats point out the price of groceries, rent, and health care is still high.
Americans are fed up with high costs, and they need a lifeline.
The administration does not plan to release an October jobs report because statisticians were furloughed during the shutdown. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox 32 Chicago.
Uncertainty over the economy and tariffs has led some retailers to hold back on seasonal hiring. Target is one of many that has opted to decrease its seasonal hiring expectations by giving more hours to current employees. But according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, nearly 9 million Americans work more than one job, and they turn to those holiday positions for flexible hours and extra income.
All right, if this includes you, head over to Macy's. The retailer is holding a nationwide job fair today. They're looking to fill both full and part-time positions. They were looking to have employees support its stores, its distribution centers, and fulfillment operations. The application process can be done within about 5 minutes online. Go to macysjobs.com, or you can go in person at any location as well. Hiring managers, they're apparently making on-the-spot job offers. All right, coming up later in the hour, we are looking at the best Black Friday deals out there. Holiday sales from November 1st to Christmas Eve, they're expected to grow 3.6% from where they were last year. So
3.6, that seems like measly to me, though.
It's enough perhaps to cover inflation? Maybe?
Oh, you're right.
Maybe?
Yep. All right, more news here on Fox 32 News at noon. You don't have that real ID, you say. Well, flying is going to cost you more. We'll have details.
President Trump not ruling out American ground forces in Venezuela as the U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean continues. I'm Lucas Tomlinson in Trinidad. I'll have the details coming up.
You could be driving.
We have some breaking news. We now know the cause of the deadly UPS plane crash in Kentucky. NTSB investigators say the plane had cracks in the mount of the engine that fell off on takeoff. 14 people were killed when the plane crashed in Louisville on November 4th, including those on board the plane and some on the ground. The hardware that broke was last inspected in October of 2021.
4 years ago? I mean, yeah. There's a problem there.
American forces building up their presence in the Caribbean as the Trump administration continues its war on drug cartels.
Lucas Tomlinson is in Trinidad with a look at military operations in that region.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro attempting to ease tensions with the U.S., but here in Trinidad, Operation Southern Spear is underway. 15,000 American troops are now in the region as part of President Trump's war on narco-terrorism. The world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, is within striking distance now of Venezuela. This week, the president said he wouldn't rule out sending ground troops into the country.
We just have to take care of Venezuela. They dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country from prisons.
According to a New York Times report, President Trump has also given his approval for the CIA to carry out covert operations inside Venezuela after back-channel negotiations with the country's government failed.
Maduro will have very little choice but to either drift away into the peacetime of his existence or to really accede to what President Trump wants to do.
U.S. military strikes in the Caribbean have targeted nearly 24 suspected drug smuggling boats. President Trump has justified the strikes, saying the U.S. is in armed conflict with drug cartels. But lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are asking for more information.
The U.S. should be strong in using all legal tools against drug traffickers who poison Americans with deadly narcotics. But the last thing Americans want right now is another endless war.
This week, the State Department moved to designate a Venezuelan drug cartel as a foreign terrorist organization, potentially paving the way for U.S. military strikes inside the country. In Trinidad, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox 32, Chicago.
All right, a big break in the Jeffrey Epstein file saga. President Trump has signed the bill to release the files. Last week, President Trump ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi to look into ties between Democrats and convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. So far, she is not saying what she has found, but she is pledging to be open with the American people throughout the process.
When these files come out, and they will, it's going to shock the conscience of this country because the survivors have told us that there are a lot of people implicated.
The goal for Democrats in this one has been to get Donald Trump. And I got news for them. They're not going to get Donald Trump. They're going to get a lot of their own.
The Attorney General could redact the names of the survivors in the documents to make sure victims are not identified. President Trump was friends with Epstein, but has consistently said he did not know about his crimes and cut ties with him long ago. And tomorrow, the president is expected to meet with New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. This will be the first time the two have met face-to-face since Mamdani defeated former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo in the mayoral race earlier this month. President Trump has slammed Mamdani, labeling the Democratic Socialist as a communist, even threatening to deport the native Ugandan and threatening to pull funding from New York City.
Those without a real ID or a passport may soon face a fee while traveling. The TSA is proposing an $18 fee for people traveling without the required identification. In addition to the fee, travelers would be required to have their identity verified on a new biometric kiosk system before they can move on in the security lane. It's not clear when the new system or the fee will roll out.
All right, it's 12:20. Let's take a live look over Grant Park. That view has not changed probably for the last 5 hours, Caitlin. It doesn't seem like that cloud cover's going anywhere.
It is soupy out there.
Yeah.
I know it. Yes, it's very cloudy. Temperatures are in the 40s today, and we don't have anything outside of mist. I mean, we don't have moderate to heavy rainfall that's going to be slowing you down on the roads. But when you're driving around, even through the afternoon, you may have to turn your windshield wipers on a few times because of the mist and the drizzle that we've been seeing. That potential is going to linger throughout the day. Behind me, you can see the clouds over Chicagoland. Now, let's talk about the fog, because we still have it out there. Believe it or not, we're down to 1.5 miles in DeKalb. The rest of us are doing A-OK. You might see some fog around, for example, Michigan City, Merrillville. You're down to about 5 or 6 miles of visibility, but that's not going to slow you down. Temperatures outside right now ranging in the mid to upper 40s. It is 47 degrees at the lakefront, 46 at O'Hare, as well as in Waukegan. A little bit cooler as we get out to DeKalb at 44, and Woodstock 44 degrees. Temperatures in northwest Indiana ranging. So Valpo, you're sitting at 43, but we have the upper 40s, and Gary at 48 degrees right now. Let's take it through the rest of the day today, as temperatures could be reaching the low 50s in our far southwestern counties. Tonight it is going to be calm, quiet, and mild. As we get on into your early Friday morning, 6 a.m., we're already sitting in the mid to upper 40s. And then we have the chance for a little bit of rain, especially south of the city and especially south of I-88. We could see a few scattered showers during the day. As we get on into the evening, though, drier weather will return, and this weekend is going to be perfect. Sunny skies and highs in the 50s both on Saturday and Sunday. A full check of your 7-day forecast is coming up. Anthony.
Beautiful to hear that it's going to be a nice weekend. Caitlin, thank you so much. Black Friday also just around the corner, but early deals and constant price changes can actually kind of make it hard to know what's actually a bargain and what is a scam.
Right. So joining us now is savings expert Andrea Warrock to break down how to spot the real savings. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Well, you know, Anthony and I just love to talk shopping
all
here.
the time.
You know, so how can shoppers tell the difference, Andrea, between a real deal and a fake markdown?
Okay, so this is a big question that a lot of people are wondering. Sometimes those prices are inflated to make a deal look like a better value, but there are tools to help you out. First, go to camel.com. This site will give you historical pricing data showing you whether that item was on sale before the discount was applied, whether it's over Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and this way you can make better buying decisions. I also wanted to suggest setting sale alerts if you're not finding the items you want on sale. There are tools like Keepa that will alert you when the price is marked down. And then if you really want to get deeper discounts, obviously don't stop at the discount or the deal that the retailer is offering. You want to get stacking. Apply a coupon code on top of the sale, run a Google search with the name of the retailer and the term coupon code, sign up for a newsletter to get a new user coupon code, and then make sure you're stacking that cash back. I like shopping through cashback apps like ShopBack. They're going to be offering up to 25% cash back during these popular sales events. They also offer 1.5% cash back at Amazon. They were offering 20% cash back at Zara. I'm planning to shop there. That cash back will add up when you're spending hundreds of dollars. Use it to then pay off your credit card statement or pick up a few last-minute gifts in December.
Very, very smart strategy there. Andrea, what should people be looking for on Black Friday in terms of categories of things that you expect there to be really great deals on?
Okay, so you do want to focus on those hot holiday toys that are a must on your kids' list. If you're seeing it for 25 to 30% off, snag it. It's not going to get much cheaper, and it's likely to sell out. Top tech, up to 50% off personal electronics like headphones, tablets, laptops, smart home devices, and those video gaming consoles are a good deal. And then small kitchen gadgets and floor care are always a popular gift, and I usually see those from 40 to 60% off. So think air fryers, coffee makers, and vacuums. And then you want to wait on clothing, footwear, beauty. I typically see better deals over Cyber Monday. That's when you might get those site-wide savings. Sometimes the retailer does want you to enter that promo code, so make sure you have that before you check out.
My mother-in-law got me a vacuum one year, and my husband's response is, she's not going to use that.
Oh, really?
That's why you need the robotic one that does it
wasn't a
for you.
Roomba.
No?
It was
Okay.
a nice gift, Andrea. Okay, I always get sucked into, and I've already done it, so Amazon Prime Days, or the Black Friday deals, I should say, they start today, November 20th, and I'm already seeing things in my cart that I've saved, like marked down 25%. Can you trust that?
Yes, honestly, these early holiday sales are some really good deals, and the retailers might change the offer, but ultimately the savings is going to be around the same amount. What you really want to look at, though, is the fine print. Check the retailer's holiday policies. Some stores are going to say buy early, and if it goes for sale later in the season, we'll give you a price adjustment. So look for those holiday price match guarantees. Stores like Target, Best Buy are offering this so that you can buy early confidently, knowing that you can always get your money back later.
So Target is a kind of extending that window. If they offer a better price down the road, you can actually take advantage of that, even if it's not on Black Friday itself.
Exactly. So some retailers might say, we won't price match after Black Friday. Some might only give you a few days or a week. But yes, retailers like Target are extending that from November 1st through December 24th. Anything you bought during that period, if you see it goes on sale for more money off, you can get your money back for the difference in price. So that's a great policy to take advantage of.
All right. Anything we missed, Andrea?
I just, make sure you have that gift shopping list in place. Don't buy bundles if it's going to increase your spend. If it's not something you need, look for a deal on the single item instead. Be aware of those no-name doorbusters. A low price on a lousy product is never a good deal. And be aware of those free ship minimums. If you're spending more to get free shipping, that could cause you to overspend. Instead, sign up for those loyalty programs to get free shipping both ways. You might even want to pay for a shipping membership. I love Target Circle 360 membership. They say that you can get free same-day delivery. They've expanded their free next-day delivery, and then they also do free 2-day shipping with no minimum order. So that can help you avoid some of those additional fees that you might be paying.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for helping us navigate all this as Black Friday quickly approaches. Andrea Warrock, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, it's 12:27. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
In today's Health Watch, medical experts are concerned about a new strain of the flu.
Yeah, a new version of H3N2 is causing outbreaks in the UK and Canada, sending people to the hospital in some cases. Health officials say the virus acquired 7 new mutations over the summer, which means it is different from this year's vaccine. The most recent report from the CDC found flu activity is low here in the U.S., but is increasing.
The ongoing outbreak of infant botulism has now impacted 31 infants. This is the outbreak connected to the ByHeart Whole Nutrition formula. Botulism cases have been confirmed in 15 states, including Illinois. The source of contamination is not clear, so ByHeart is telling people to get rid of all of its products. Health experts say ultra-processed foods are a growing global public health threat now. A new report from the Lancet Medical Journal links the foods to several chronic conditions, including depression and obesity. Ultra-processed foods make up more than half of the average American's daily calories, and researchers say the trend is growing worldwide. Meantime, one French study of more than 100,000 people found those who ate the most ultra-processed foods were vegetarians.
They think they are doing good for their health, while instead they are eating produces completely recomposed with many emulsifiers, flavors, and so on to look like salmon or meat.
Researchers are urging governments to help reduce the consumption of ultra-processed foods by imposing taxes and warning labels on those products.
All right, Americans, unfortunately, hey, we may be getting less and less happy. This is according to a new report which finds the U.S. fell down to number 24 on the global happiness ranking between 2012 and 2025. Now, we previously held the 11th spot. The report also found that the U.S. ranks in the top 5 in loneliness of all the countries studied. Top 5 loneliest. Americans under 30 years old are among the unhappiest in the U.S. and cite factors such as life satisfaction, purpose, and social support.
All right, 12:32. We'll be right back.
No matter.
Welcome back. 12:35. Here's a look at some of the top stories we are following for you here during our noon news.
Federal prosecutors have filed a motion to dismiss the charge against a woman shot by a Border Patrol agent. Miramar Martinez was shot in the Brighton Park neighborhood last month. Investigators said she and a co-defendant used their cars to block and ram federal agents' vehicles. She has pled not guilty on charges of using a vehicle to assault, resist, or impede federal agents. The motion did not include an explanation for the dismissal.
Former Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan, he's incarcerated right now, and now he has officially been disbarred. According to court documents, he lost the power to practice law in the state due to his conviction. Madigan was convicted on bribery, conspiracy, and wire fraud charges. The 83-year-old was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison. He was also fined $2.5 million. Madigan is appealing his conviction.
We now know the cause of the deadly UPS plane crash in Kentucky. NTSB investigators say the plane had cracks in the mount of the engine. The engine just fell right off on takeoff. 14 people were killed when the plane crashed in Louisville on November 4th. The hardware that broke was last inspected in October of 2021.
All right, it's time to check back in with Caitlin Cody. And Caitlin, boy, that view, I think that might be from the Hancock building. Yes, that is confirmed. Not much of a view. The clouds are still low.
Yeah, we do have the clouds in place. It's a little bit foggy out there still. It's kind of another dreary day. We're on copy, paste, repeat here. Unfortunately, those cloudy skies are not going anywhere through the rest of the day today. And in fact, we could still have that mist or drizzle out there this afternoon. Temperatures, though, they are all right. We're in the 40s today. We're going to be in the 40s tonight. And then tomorrow, we're cracking into the 50s. But we are still going to have some clouds around for your Friday with the chance for rain, especially south of Chicago. And then this weekend, we settle into the warmth and the sunshine. Sunny skies will be back just in time for the weekend. Right now, though, you're stepping out the door to 46 degrees at the lakefront. Generally speaking, it's a quiet afternoon outside of the clouds and that drizzle, as mentioned. 46 from Aurora to O'Hare to Kankakee. We're looking at temperatures ranging from the low 40s in Valpo at 43 to Michigan City to 48 degrees in Gary. Looking at our satellite radar, again, we are socked in with cloud cover, Chicago, and they aren't going anywhere. So maybe plan an evening at the movie theater or something inside because it is going to be dreary. Looking at our radar specifically with this closer view, we're not seeing the drizzle, but again, it could be so light that it's not getting picked up on our maps, just like it was this morning. Highs today are going to be in the upper 40s, which is where we should be. 47 is our normal high today. Some of us could be around 50 from LaSalle to Grundy County. Tonight, though, temperatures dropping back down to the 30s and 40s. 45 degrees expected to be our low at O'Hare. That's not bad. Really, this is the positive side of these clouds, keeping in the warmth during the day, but also preventing us from climbing too high during the day with those clouds in place. Temperatures tomorrow are going to be back to the 50s for many of us, looking to be right around 49 degrees at the lakefront, 51 at O'Hare, so we push above normal. This trend is going to continue through the weekend, but the clouds are going to be out of here. So here's your futurecast. Again, today it is going to be a quiet day outside of the mist. A little bit of rain is possible, especially from Chicago. Point south for your Friday. In the afternoon, 4:45, we still see some rain around. And then finally, high pressure is building in, and it's going to bring us beautiful sunny skies. Still going to be nice and warm this weekend. Temperatures are going to be, in fact, reaching the mid and upper 50s on Sunday. That's going to be really nice. I hope you get the chance to enjoy it. As we head into next week, 54 degrees on Monday, chance for rain back Monday night, and to Tuesday. Tuesday's high right around 54. Then we're back down to the mid 40s by Wednesday. Back to you.
Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at the latest business headlines.
Wait.
Good afternoon. Let's take a look at the New York Stock Exchange. The Dow Jones trading down 252 points.
All right, it's time to look at the rest of our business headlines now with CJ Papa.
Walmart's earnings and revenue topped expectations, and it is raising its outlook for the year. Though lower and middle income consumers are pulling back. Walmart says it's seeing more shoppers with households making more than $100,000 a year. IBM and Cisco Systems plan to link quantum computers over long distances, saying it could pave the way for a quantum internet. Quantum computers hold promise of quick problem solving, but so far, they have been unreliable. A Fox poll reveals affordability is top of mind for Americans, with the majority having a negative view on the economy right now. 62% feel President Trump is responsible for the current economic conditions. 32% former President Biden. Meanwhile, the cost of an average Thanksgiving dinner has gone down. A feast for 10 expected to run you about $5.52 per person, which is down 5% from 2023. And Thanksgiving is expected to be one of the busiest travel seasons ever. Virtuoso seeing a 20% increase in bookings and a 36% increase in sales compared to last Thanksgiving. The company also projecting a huge jump in both bookings and sales over the Christmas holiday as well. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox 32, Chicago.
Our noon show is going to be wrapping up in about 20 minutes here, but Chicago Live is just getting started.
Anita Blanton standing by with a quick look at what is ahead for her. Hey, Anita.
Hey, Natalie and Anthony. Yeah, there's a lot going on today. So we're going to try to dip into the mayor's question and answer session with reporters. It wasn't initially on his calendar for today, but if he wants to talk, we're going to listen, especially to those questions and his answers. It should be starting momentarily. There's also a House Foreign Affairs subcommittee hearing today. It's called Democracy in Peril, the fight for free elections in Honduras. We may dip in there. And let's talk about some of the conversations that we have lined up all week. We've been watching the volatility with the stocks. We've mentioned that at least in part, it seemed to be due to economists waiting on the September jobs report. Well, that's out. It's today, and I'm going to talk with a senior economic analyst with Bankrate about the latest findings. That is in our 3 o'clock hour. In our 2 o'clock hour, we're bringing in another voice to a terrible local tragedy that really has people around the country shocked. The woman who was just sitting minding her own business on a CTA train, then she's doused with gasoline and eventually set on fire. Still really unbelievable, but we're going to talk with one person about, bystander. What do you do if you see something like that? What do you do? And then another former FBI agent who's going to talk to us about the overall implications of something like this, safety on public transportation. And in our first hour, we have invited a restaurant owner onto the show to talk about a situation that's going on that has definitely raised some alarms. She says that a chatbot farm spammed her with fake one-star reviews, and when she got to talking with other restaurant owners, they've been through the same thing. So it all starts at 1 o'clock right here on Chicago Live. I will see you online for that and more.
All right, very good, Anita. See you shortly. Thank you so much. Coming up for us here in the meantime, a new men's health clinic that opened up in Hinsdale promises faster, personalized ways to boost energy and performance. We will tell you what Alpha Refinery offers when we come back.
Join us.
Men's Health is getting a modern upgraded Hinsdale. Alpha Refinery just opened its first performance clinic designed to help men boost energy, focus, and confidence.
Look at the interior there. Fancy stuff. And joining us here in studio is the founder and the executive director, Ron DeRosa, to talk about their mission and how men are taking charge of their health through your facility. Ron, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Give us the overview here. What's this place all about? Is it like a spa? Are there workout machines? What's going on?
Yeah, so it's hormone optimization and longevity medicine kind of blended into one place. I like to think of it as like a one-stop shop for guys. You know, for too long we've had multiple places we've had to go to kind of solve a lot of our problems. And now you have a one-stop shop where you can officially get in and get out and get a plan for the next 90 days to kind of get you back on track.
I feel like I should not be part of this interview.
Well,
I feel like
we talk a lot about hormones, okay? Because we do.
Yeah.
We've both been through, you know, multiple, well, not me personally, but Maggie and I with our pregnancy and everything like that.
Right.
When you say hormone treatment, what do you mean here for the gents?
So the reality is 40% of men actually have low testosterone, and we just don't know. And we suffer through those symptoms, right? So it's Movember, and so we're paying a little bit more attention to men's health. Rocking the stash.
Yeah, the stash.
I don't think I'm going to get rid of it, to be honest with you. It's kind of hanging on to it. But the reality is, you know, it's really important because a lot of these symptoms mirror depression. And so I know from my own personal experience, you know, when working with my primary care physician, we were pretty close to getting on some antidepressants. You know, those symptoms are very similar. So kind of the call out to guys is, hey, look, you know, come in, get your levels tested, know where you are, right? You can come in very efficiently and get that done on the spot.
Are you finding these days that men are more amiable to coming in and doing that? I have found that personally. My brother, my husband, many of the men in my life have had their testosterone tested. This is like a thing now.
Yeah.
So are you finding
it's becoming more popular,
Yeah.
but no, it's like pulling teeth.
Okay.
Truthfully. Well, and listen, the reality is, you know, as men, a lot of us do, you know, put ourselves last, right?
But women do as well, so it's not
Sure.
just men. Yes.
Yeah, sure. And, you know, and we do rely on the women kind of to drag us, right? And kind of remind us,
like
why don't you go? Yeah, for sure. So it's getting, we're seeing, you know, more men become receptive to it. But again, they are, you know, we need to prioritize men's health.
So what does the test itself look like? What does it entail? And then if you do test low, like, hey, I've got low T, what does a typical treatment regime look like?
Yeah, so when guys come in, the best way to kind of come in is through an energy and performance assessment visit. 60 minutes you're going to walk in. You're not supposed to know what's going on. You're just supposed to, you know, you just know you feel off and you want to feel better, right? Within 60 minutes, we're going to run a full hormone panel for you, and you're going to get results on the spot. So what we try and do is we want to go ahead and solve problems. We don't just want to treat symptoms, right? We don't want to put a Band-Aid on it and prescribe you a pill or a medication to mask that symptom. We want to find the root cause of it. And so with hormone optimization, if you do have low testosterone, right, if you're outside of that range, you can optimize to be within that range, right, very safely. So it's bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. There's also tons of other things to do to restore energy. You know, NAD+ is very popular now. And these are all naturally occurring kind of, you know, short chains of amino acids that are within our body naturally. But as we get older, those signals are not as strong. There are not as many of them. And so now with modern medicine, you can replace these safely.
I think I just want to bottle Anthony because I feel like you have so much
energy.
I want whatever Anthony. I want just little Ponce. Okay. Thank you so much, Ron.
Yeah, thank
Again,
you
it's
guys.
Alpha Refinery
And you guys are out in Hinsdale.
We're in Hinsdale, correct.
Hinsdale. Very, very cool stuff. Thank you so much for running us through what you guys do. 12 Salt Creek Lane, Hinsdale, Illinois. And you can find more out at alpharefinery.com. Ron DeRosa. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of the news at noon when we come back. Chicago.
The holiday season is here and Michigan Avenue about to get a little bit brighter.
A little bit brighter, yes. The Wintrust Mag Mile Lights Festival and Parade returns this weekend with live music, performances, and of course the traditional lighting of more than 1 million trees.
Jake shows us what is new this year as Chicago shines bright for its 34th annual tradition.
That's right, guys. You know it's a big event when the big man himself shows up. We got Santa. I know him. Santa, how you feeling? Feeling great. He's feeling great, he said. He's feeling great. He's looking great. And he's probably feeling great because he knows we have a pretty epic event, the Wintrust Mag Mile Lights Festival. We know it's happening this Saturday, but we thought we'd take you behind the scenes as they're starting to get ready. We're here with Wendy, who's going to tell us all about it. Wendy, for a lot of people, this is really kind of their official kickoff to the holiday season, right?
Absolutely. It's definitely the kickoff to the season, and we're so excited to be part of it. And it's a great event that everybody can come join because it's free and come from near and far. It's wonderful. Very happy, very joyful. There's some really amazing talent coming. You'll be like rocking your socks for sure.
Well, what if I told you guys, thank you, Wendy, that we actually have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tom Higginson, Plain White Tees. Tom, good to see you again, man. Good to see you. First of all, I'm so happy, like just being home for you. This has got to be, I know you perform all over the world, but being here, what's that? That's got to be like just a homecoming for you.
I mean, we literally just got home from tour, so it feels so good to be back and to be able to play something like this and get all festive and show up for Chicago. It's the best.
Now, you guys have your own float in the backdrop there, which is pretty incredible. But in addition to being a part of the parade, you guys are going to have a show a little bit earlier in the day as well.
So we're playing at 1 o'clock, acoustic set. The whole band is in town. We're going to do that at, was it Pioneer?
Yeah, it's going to be the Lights Festival Lane at Pioneer Court.
So we're doing that at 1, and then, yeah, we're going to be a part of the parade. We're going to be on the float playing, you know, cruising down Michigan Avenue.
Love that. You said the other boys are getting in tomorrow?
They're coming in tomorrow, yeah. So we'll all be here. It's gonna be awesome, man.
Now listen, if one of them doesn't make it,
we'll call you for sure.
I mean, I look
to take over vocals. I don't know. I'm getting a little hoarse, you know.
Dude, how do you improve upon perfection, my friend?
Oh, come on,
Tom, we love you. Thank you for always supporting us, man. We appreciate you. Good to see you, man. Congratulations on everything, dude. Good to see you. All right, guys, it is the Wintrust Mag Mile Lights Festival, and you know what? It is all wrapping up with the big guy up there, Santa. How am I looking this year?
Fantastic.
Fantastic, he said. How's my hair?
Your hair is perfect.
Perfect, he said. Naughty or nice list?
Nice list.
Nice list, he said. All right, guys, on that note, you heard it from the big man himself. We're going to toss it back to you guys in the studio.
Are you
That's all for Fox 32 News at noon.
The news continues on Chicago Live on Fox Local. In the meantime, have a great day.
Live. I'm Anita Blanton, and I'm here in Studio 32. I'll be with you through 4 p.m. on this Thursday. Lots to get to in this first hour, but first, Mayor Brandon Johnson is taking questions, and he's speaking to reporters right now at City Hall. Lots of topics for him to discuss, so let's listen into this.
I hope you all will join me in praying for this young woman, as well as her family, that not only does she survive, but that she heals. Now, I want to give a quick update before we take just a few questions. We sent out this tool, which you can see on the screen, which offers aldermen yet another opportunity to provide my administration with recommendations or ideas that they may have around revenue or other cost-saving measures. There's been a lot of noise around possible efficiencies. So we want to make sure that we are giving aldermen every single opportunity to put forth concrete ideas to help us move forward with this budget. Our priorities are clear. We want to ultimately pass a budget that protects the programs that poor and working Chicagoans rely upon. We want to maintain our investments in community safety programs, and we want to fund it to the extent possible under our Home Rule Authority with progressive revenue. Meaning taxes that are paid by large corporations or wealthy people rather than regressive taxes which tend to fall primarily or predominantly on poor and working people. We have been quite consistent on our priorities, but we are always open to new ideas. We remain open to compromise and working with anyone on the council. And we will continue to engage and offer opportunities to provide feedback throughout this budget process. Thank you. And now I'm willing to accept questions from any of you, but also you have Chairman Irvin with us, our Budget Director Guzman, our Chief Financial Officer Joe Jarowski, and our Comptroller, Mr. Mike Belsky.
All right, we'll just go down the list here. Hey, Mayor.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
You kind of said there's been a lot of noise about it. This feels almost like you're challenging the city council as opposed to engaging with them if you see the difference. You know, you're saying they've been telling us to make these changes or look at efficiencies, and you've previously said we haven't actually gotten those proposals. Alderman Irvin has said the same. Is this really about engaging with the city council or calling them out?
This is about engagement.
How much will you consider what they provide, and how soon can you provide the turnaround if they're asking to evaluate a tax proposal?
Yeah, well, we'll take every single proposal seriously. That's why, we started this process, if you remember, well back in April, as well as this budget has been before the city council for over a month now. Our team is fully available. We've made adjustments to our calendars so that we can assert ourselves in this moment. And as far as how soon, it just depends on how soon those ideas and recommendations come to us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I know you addressed the blue line, but yesterday you called safety on the CTA your top priority when it comes to transportation, and you referenced those dollars we're going to be getting from Springfield. How will you specifically be changing safety measures on the CTA for riders who are moving forward?
Yeah, well, again, this is an awful, tragic incident, and safety as a whole is my top priority, not just for public transportation. And so there are appropriations that have been dedicated specifically around safety, but even more specifically around homelessness as well as mental health services, right? So now we have a governing structure that will allow for all voices to come together to think strategically about where those investments should rest. And so it's going to be a combination of all three: mental health and behavioral health care services. So that's going to require person power, but also for the homeless, which includes our ability to be able to ensure that those who are unhoused are not reliant upon the public transportation as temporary housing. And as far as how we show up with law enforcement or security agencies, those things will be debated. But just know that it's a top priority, and that funding that we need from Springfield, I know people are looking at a year from now, but we're calling on Springfield to send that with some expediency.
Are any of those changes something that would be visible to riders? Will they be able to see the difference with those dollars and those changes?
Oh, absolutely, right? Look, we have a housing crisis across America, right? So with the support services for those who are unhoused, the expectation is that there are less people on the train that are there because they have nowhere to live. Same thing for mental and behavioral health care services. We already see a visible transformation in our city because we have more care programs that spread throughout the entire city of Chicago. The anticipation is that we'll see more of that. Same thing with the level of security and support that's actually visibly recognizable on the actual transportation system.
More officers. More officers then, and more visible officers.
I think it's too early to speculate like what that absolutely looks like. But again, the funding from Springfield is the most important thing. Without that funding, then none of this will be visibilized.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just follow up with one question about CTA. Brendan Riley, and I know you guys have heard him talk about this before, but New York City having a police officer patrolling intermittently on the trains or buses, that would have an impact. I mean, is this something that you've talked to the alderman about recently? Is it on the table, the possibility of having police officers? Because now, it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're on the platform patrolling, but they don't actually get on the train.
Well, I do know that they interact not just on the platform, but in and off the train as well. Look, I think there are a variety of ways in which we can see this manifest. I think what's most important is that there's actually funding to do it. Now, our ability to ensure that that funding matches the desired outcomes, that's something that we'll continue to work through. As long as people know that my top priority is to make sure that that funding comes from Springfield, it goes towards all the areas of need that will, strengthen safety on our public transportation system. That's the most important thing.
If I can just ask one more question.
Sure. I mean, you're looking around, but you're not looking at Casio, by the way. That was pretty smooth.
We know that one of the things that you focused in on when you were running and that you wanted to address homelessness, the crisis of homelessness and people with mental health problems on the street. And unfortunately, that did not pass. The voters rejected that. Are you thinking that there needs to be a more concerted effort